Hi, I just want to take a couple minutes, and I have people talk about knives and carrying them, and a lot of people know I carry a neck knife and around my neck, and they ask what type and why. So, I'm not going to go into all the different knives in the world and whatever and that type of thing. Just talk about me and my neck knife, because depending on where you're going, what you're doing, I'm out in the field, I wear something different. But just for around town and whatever, I carry a neck knife. Just hangs under there, can't see it. Does a really good job. Why do I use this one? Compared to a lot of them you'll find are some kind of straight knife. Small straight knife that will fit in a holster. Some of them have a little curved blade and stuff. And here's why I don't use that particular one and why I use the one I do. My wife loves to watch those real murder mysteries, and all the time I see, every time I see it, it's really funny when they've been stabbed. The police always say, "Who stabbed 26 times? It must be a thing of passion or rage or whatever, And that's not true at all. When you're killing somebody with a knife, it's a different ballgame. A knife isn't like a bullet. It has no energy behind it. It doesn't blow up. It doesn't knock you down. How you die from a knife wound is you bleed out. Well, stabbing you in the arm, 10 times in the belly, even in your stomach, may be painful and you start to bleed, but people are still fighting and going. You'll be surprised. You just keep stabbing and stabbing. Best thing, of course, if you get in the carotid artery and rip it, that's great, but they got to take 30 seconds to bleed out. So killing somebody with a knife isn't like people think. I just stab him. I know I watched a war movie the other day, and he snuck up behind the guard and he threw it and he stabbed him in the back and he fell down dead. Let me tell you, somebody throws a knife, sticks me in the back, I'm going to be pissed. I'm going to turn around and shoot your ass. So you don't just fall down dead. It takes lots of wounds, and if you think about it, arms, legs, even in the torso and the neck, it's not a bullet. It takes a while to bleed out. Also, it's really tough. Your arm has bones, your chest and your heart is protected. They're always trying to protect their head and their arms and stuff, so when they're doing that, it's hard to get a good shot and get them in the heart and do that stuff. But the big thing is, and the reason I changed mine is, that if you stab or do something, if there isn't a guard on the end, lots of times they catch the bad guy because they find their blood too, and that's because when they stab or do something, they slip over it. Why? Because I know you think you're powerful enough, I'll just hang on to it and it won't slip out. Well, it does. Especially you hit a bone, you hit something, your hand slips down, then you slice your hand. Plus, if you've never had real blood, try it. It is really slippery. It's not like water. It makes it really slippery, and your hands get slippery when the blood's in there. So I tend to do something, I'll slip off, cut my hand. Not a good thing. So, that's what I do is I carry this one, and this is made by Smith & Wesson. It's right now I think it's 25 bucks, real cheap. What I like about it mostly is I can stick my thumb in there, and no matter what I do, I'm not slipping over the blade, because that sucker is really sharp. So that's the main thing that I like. Plus the other thing I like, unlike this one where you're stabbing, when I get this one I can actually fight, because I can still have my hands in a good fighting position and whatever, and still have my knife. And so I can reach out and I can slice across the face, across the neck. What I really like is if there's more than one aggressor and somebody comes up behind you and grabs you in a bear hug while the other one's going to stab you, hit you, whatever. With this one, I don't have to worry about it. With that one, I can reach behind, I can get his leg, I can get his ribs, and if you go across the ribs, it's like cutting barbecued ribs when you buy it. It just slices between them. So this thing just rips, and no matter what happens, my finger's in there, it doesn't come loose, it doesn't fall, so it's really good for that. Space to even get in the face and the neck. What it isn't good for is, it's obviously not good for making real good penetration and going in and slicing down, because that's what you need to do. So there's no such thing as a perfect knife, but for me, this is my neck knife, that's why I use it. Stick my finger in there, I can't lose it, and it doesn't fall out easily. I can fight and bind, do things. Smith & Wesson, 25 bucks in the web or something. Anyway, that's what I use for a neck knife and why. Thank you.